goodness, I've been crawling along out here. The freeway. Crawling along. But anyway, I just heard this one that I guess Trump is over there giving a rally in New York. And he's doing all his favorite shtick. You know, the trans stories and mama, what an idiot. And then he's talking about, you know, the cognitive test. Yeah, have any of the other presidents ever taken it? No. Well, I said I would take it. And he starts off and says, you know, there's a bear, there's a snake, there's a, what was it? I don't remember what he said, raccoon and a horse. What's the name of the horse? Name the horse. Name the horse. Not which one is the horse. He says, name the horse. Okay, I'll name the horse Fred. And then he says, you know, as it goes on, it gets tougher, you know, in the last part. He made it sound like it was some big, massive math thing that you take 12,937 divided by 2, multiplied by 19, divided by, and then minus, and then add. You know, that's what he's saying, that type of thing. No, it's 100. You start with 100 and you go back by 7 every time. And he makes it like some big, major, complicated math question that he aced and nobody else could do it. And he says, you know, I've taken that test 3 times. Well, if you've taken it 3 times, you dipshit, it means that they know that you've got dementia and they want to see how bad it's getting. But, yeah, I've taken it 3 times. And none of the other presidents ever took it. Yeah, because they don't have dementia. What an idiot. And then he's making up words and said he's got the best vocabulary and he's the smartest person that we'll ever meet. Oh my God. He's getting more delusional by the day. The smartest person you'll ever meet. But yeah, I mean, he is off his rocker. He probably told the snake story as well, because that's one of his big favorites, you know, about the snake. So it's all his regurgitated crap. He probably went off on windmills and, you know, talking about big, beautiful coal. I didn't hear his whole speech. I only saw there were some parts of it that they were talking about, and I was just like, oh my God. And of course he's got people there clapping, but I'm wondering how many they paid to go there. Because they do that. They do pay people to go to the rallies. So I'm wondering how many were paid participants there. But what a buffoon. I mean, just so ignorant and absolutely stupid. And bragging like he really is something special. It only shows how stupid he is, because anybody that's seen that cognitive test knows that the last thing, you start with 100 and you just minus things by 7 the whole way back. Okay? And again, he made it sound like, oh, I've got all this big, huge numbers and divide it and multiply it again and divide it and minus and add, and it was like, oh Lord have mercy. I don't know, for the last hour been creeping along. It's now just finally starting to move a little bit, but I mean literally it was stop and go and stop, and you inch forward a couple of inches and then you stop again, then you inch forward. Oh my Lord. So yeah, it's just been really the big parking lot. Yeah, we're slowing down again. Slowing down again. Looks like we're going to have another creep along here. Man, they sure have a lot of Teslas over here in California. That's all I can say. What is a Tesla with a dual motor? I'll have to look that up and see what the dual motor is. And how many different Tesla models are there? Because they don't actually have it printed on them what model it is. Well, except I saw one that said Model S. I guess that's the smallest model. And then this dual motor looks like it might be a newer one that's come out. Kind of sleeker looking a little bit. Anyway, I was going down 101 and then it routed me over here to 5 and went up the, Grapevine, and from the other side of the Grapevine, it's been really slow going. For over, it's been at least 60 miles that it's been, really really slow going. Oh my Lord, crazy. But we'll get there eventually. It's a good thing I'm not in a rush, because I guess you could get pretty frustrated if you're a type A personality and you've got this bumper to bumper traffic all the time. I can imagine it's like this quite often. Yeah, it's 5:19, so, it's rush hour. Yay, we're moving. We're actually up to 38 miles per hour. Could have walked faster than the cars were going for the last 60 miles or so. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, I'll leave that here. I just wanted to comment on his big rally speech that I don't know how anybody could listen to the whole thing. I only caught a couple seconds of it, and that was enough. It's all his old crap. Nothing new. easy. Well, except for the cognitive test now has gotten harder. Oh my Lord. I'm sure that next time he tells it, he'll probably say the last part was figuring out, some cosmic space program that he's able to ace it. Because every time he tells it, it's gotten harder, and he's just, so up on it. Nobody else could do it. Oh, and then he was talking about Democrats. Dumb, you take the B out. There's a B in dumb. I think we all know there's a B in dumb. And he's like, he sees that, and it's like he's so brilliant because he knows there's a B in the word dumb. Oh Lord, how embarrassing is this fool? Yeah, so now, I came up with the word Democrats. I'm so brilliant. I really am patting himself on the back for that. I mean, he does something so stupid and acts like he's really brilliant that nobody else could figure out there's a B in the word dumb. He's just so ahead of everybody. And said that Newsom said he was stupid, that Newsom said that Newsom was stupid. Yeah. Oh Lord. This guy. We're back to 7 miles an hour here now. Going like a herd of turtles here. I guess if you had a Tesla and you figured it can drive itself, you could go back and take a nap with how slow it is with all of this. Oh Lord. Anyway, on that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online.